this is amazing. It seems really cool to me, and I'm not entirely sure that I understand it, but I need it here, like with EngErotics. And so we're going to brand it and give it a home. But I didn't realize just all that it could do. Like, our clientele have taught me so much. So I'm here to tell you, let the record show that Raven Faber, CEO, founder, does not know every damn thing. Like, we're a user-driven company for a reason. Like, the interaction with that woman, taught me so much. Just like in the 5 minutes that we spoke, and she did buy one right off the table. I was like, wow, I never would have thought of that. And why would I have? I don't have that particular challenge in my life. I don't have the same triggers about, phallic objects that other people do. But there are people out there who, they want sexual pleasure. But to have this, anything remotely phallic, that's not good for them. I've learned a lot about that too. So Shroom has been the great educator in the company.
I bet.
I marvel every day just how popular it is. It makes me feel really good. So yeah, that's the real. I'm really happy, very grateful to the R&D team over at the factory that we work with. Because it was, like you said, you don't grow past your own limitations. This is why you have to surround yourself with good people, because not everybody thinks like you. And so yes, that is how Shroom came to be. Demi Vibe is my personal favorite.
We have to work on getting that one, because I was going across your website the other day and I saw it and I'm like, did we miss out on this? Like, I don't, and because, so tell us a little bit about Demi Vibe.
Sure. Well, Demi Vibe is larger than a bullet, not nearly as large as a wand. As you know, with Shroom is quite quiet. So Demi Vibe uses the same motor. It is the same travel lock, nine functions, your low, medium, high, and then all of your Morse code settings that people may or may not love. I don't love them, but we have them in our products.
That's always a contentious argument with all the other settings.
And that's an episode for another day. Like,
that's
where
another
do you
episode
sit on
for another day
on the Morse code settings? It is double-ended. So the end that most people notice, the bulleted end, if you will, it's bulbous at the tip, so it's it's tapered. So you do get some good G-spot stimulation on the in-out because of that variation in shape. It is quite flexible. It's not rigid. It doesn't stay where you put it, but it's got quite a bit of give. On the other end, it's indented. A lot of people use that for the clitoris. I suppose you can put other things in there too, but I always recommend it for the clit if you got one.
Sure.
It's not an anal toy. For those of you who are new, it doesn't have a flared base. Don't put it in your butt. Please don't put it in your butt.
We highly recommend it. Like, we always have to put those disclaimers out there because, the Denver Health is always plagued with random things, especially during the holidays and people putting stuff up their butt.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the way to bring in the holidays, but do your thing, but do it safely, please. But yeah, Demi Vibe's my personal favorite. And I will say though, and I there's no shame in this because it's what it is. Shroom outsells Demi Vibe. Demi Vibe sells.
The best thing that we were able to do, especially during Pride season, we are all about testers, like having the testers available because, going through COVID and everything, everybody was so restricted on such. And our thing is that we don't want to sell you anything if you don't know what it's like out the package. And everybody's always touching it. And they're like, oh my God, this is so cute. It's so well made. It feels so great. And the vibration of it, it's not the ones that will put you in a coma.
Yes. Yeah.
It is the one that it's very nice and manageable. But the one thing and terrible on me, but when we were talking about those that might have a disability or might not have a grip strength, or maybe we do have some elder customers that do ask for more like hand friendly, like something that's more ergonomic. Yes. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
not even think of
Absolutely.
shroom being marketed, as such, because that would have been
Yeah.
great because we do get a lot of ADA customers coming into Pride, especially Colorado Springs.
Yes.
And we get that a lot, and it didn't even occur to me
Absolutely. I
that
mean,
I'm
I feel
terrible.
like you got to keep yourself open to learning every day. And I feel like this is a big flaw that a lot of, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and call them entrepreneurs because
Mhm.
I just don't understand how you can really call yourself a true entrepreneur or true business person, a true company owner. If you're just trying to be like mine, my
Yeah.
ideas, I think of the best stuff, yada, yada, yada.
Mhm.
It's all me,
Yeah.
um, it's like you really have to like humble yourself and open up your mind and hear other people
Mhm.
and listen to their experiences. Just because I don't have that struggle doesn't mean that um it doesn't mean that you don't have that struggle because I do and vice versa.
Sure.
Um we don't share experiences, but we can learn and have empathy for each other's experiences. EngErotics is really popular with people who are seasoned. I'm not going to say elderly. We're not going to, the seasoned. People
Mm,
who are my mother's age, people who are my
sure.
grandmother's age. My mother's in her mid 60s, my grandmother's in her early 80s. You don't cease being human because you get older, your body just starts working a bit differently and it can be more complicated. So it means a lot to me that, people use
Yeah.
shroom. I mean, shroom does it outsells Demi. Demi sells, but I didn't know, just like with EngErotics, like I didn't know like how we were gonna take off, if you will. I didn't know
Sure.
we were gonna end up on TV and all of that shit. I had no idea. It wasn't on my life's bingo card. No clue. Um, but I also didn't know that Shroom was gonna be so well received. So that makes
Yeah.
me feel very, very, very good that your clientele, because
Hmm.
you're queer owned shop, like, you're
Yeah.
for the people, you're for the community. That is who you're out there trying to grab. Um,
Mhm.
and I mean, everybody is welcome, but it's like, especially in times like these, people in marginalized communities really need a place where they can feel heard and seen and understood. It really, really brings me a lot of joy that, Shroom is so popular with your clientele. So, Demi is awesome too. I mean, my personal favorite, but a lot of my personal faves, Sin, like, they're not necessarily the best sellers in the company. And that is my
Sure.
indication
I get
that
that.
EngErotics is bigger than me. It is bigger
Right.
than me. It's not about me. It's not about what Raven likes, like it is what our clientele, like what the people want. Like, how can we serve you best,
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And I totally agree with that. So you do have the shroom, you do have the demi. So let's talk about your oils. So we
Sure.
carry I think we have one that's a naked kind of a oil, and then we have the other
Hmm.
CBD oil. And I think offline you and I were kind of talking about, you're like, yeah, you can actually use the oil with the shroom. And I was like, should I ask about this stuff before? I was like, because it's when you speak, especially to the person that's really involved in it, and definitely we're going to do some classes, with EngErotics,
Sure.
because I just want to be more well versed in it, So tell us about the oils, definitely, because I think there's a little bit of misconception in the community because you hear
Absolutely.
CBD thrown around for everything, for
Oh
pain,
yeah, you
for
do.
pains, for this, for
Yeah.
that. So how does it apply with EngErotics?
Oh, absolutely. So, CBD, let me back up. Like all the gaps and quality issues and things like that, all those concerns that we talked about with sex toys, those exist for CBD. And,
Hmm.
everybody who is, part of the cannabis community knows that. Like, how do I know this is going to work? The CBD that I got at the gas station and the hair supply store didn't work for
Exactly.
me. I'm
Exactly.
like, girl, you're getting your CBD from the hair supply store. I mean, unless it's mine that you're buying and you're some reputable brand, but the checks and balances,
No, for sure.
largely have not been there. Um, so a lot of people, even now, are not well versed in using CBD for the purpose of enhancing the sexual response cycle,
Mhm.
or really intimacy as a whole. For all you youngins that think that everything is sex, intimacy is not necessarily sex. I know that we've all been in our teens and 20s and you're like, oh my gosh, this is
Like
sex.
rabbits.
We are gonna have sex. Like, and now it's like at 38, 39, it's like, I'm tired. Let's have some intimacy. And then if I
Exactly.
got some energy, then we can have sex,
Exactly.
A lot of people aren't well versed in that. And that's okay. That's why we're doing this. Like, it's the numbers are growing and we're getting there. But most people are familiar with CBD for pain. There's nothing wrong with that. And disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, so we don't market our products for pain relief because we don't want, it's like, we want you to do your own research. We're not doctors. It's not like an FDA thing. Like, we don't do that. But, y'all know what CBD has been, what it's been marketed for. And most people are familiar with it for that purpose, pains and aches. Like, and unfortunately, there are companies out there that will do, and, like, yeah, this is going to do, like, cure your ailments. That's not okay. Like, please don't do that. But, most people are familiar with it for, there's something wrong with me. I have to use CBD because there's something wrong with me. And so initially, when we were first getting that side of the company going, we had some very quizzical looks. Like, why would I use this? There's nothing wrong with me. Well, no, there's nothing have to be wrong with you.
Right.
This is going to make things, if it's already right, it's going to get you even more right. CBD is a vasodilator. So that means that it opens up the blood vessels, so more blood flows into the area. We can get more blood into the area. We have more sensitivity. More sensitivity does all the things, more lubrication, more sensation, more satisfaction. It more blood is awesome, from a neurological standpoint, CBD does a lot to calm the mind, calm the body. For many, many people, I mean, it's like we're very inclusive, but I'm going to pick on, I'm going to single out cis women who are mothers right now, because that's commonly what you see in all the internet memes and, wine mom culture and this, that, and the other. So, it's like, take this and apply as you will. But for the cis women who are mothers, that, have the rigors of child raising, and it is a very rigorous task, child raising, because I have two, and they're 6 and almost 9, so
oh boy, got a long way to go.
It's like, yes, we do. But it's at the same time, it's going by so fast. If we're not together up here, ain't nothing going on below the waist. Like, getting your mental together.
I like that.
Getting your being able to let your stress go, being able to decompress, if you will. It makes it so much easier to have sex and to reach orgasm. And so for me, like, like things like the soaking sand bath shots, for example, that's not an internal CBD item. That's an enhancement. Like, if you're taking a bath with a partner, great. If you're taking a bath with shroom or Vibe, excellent. If it's just you, if you're like me and you're locking the door and hiding in your bathtub, like, that's great too. It helps you to take the edge off. With the oils, the O Nectar massage oil, those are massage oils that happen to be safe for lubricative purposes. So when you use them for, intimately, you can use them internally inside the anal area, inside the vaginal area. You can use them for penetrative sex, both vaginal and anal. You can use them for foreplay. You can use them for erotic massage. You can use them for general self-care, BDSM aftercare. I use them just to moisturize my skin after the bath or shower because, I don't like being ashy, and it's dry. It's dry as fuck here in Denver. And so I got to get my skin right. I can't show up looking ashy, so I use that instead of a lotion. Now, you're welcome. Get your skin right. It's great. But, CBD really does a lot to enhance the sexual response cycle on account of the vasodilation, the anti-inflammatory properties. So we do, again, we're not doctors, but we do have clients that have certain conditions that make sex
absolutely
painful, impossible. And CBD has been used, even products that we don't make, taking gummies and tinctures, sublingual tinctures and things like that, patches, whatever. People have used CBD for that purpose as well. And so when you're using a CBD enhanced product to help enhance sensation or whatever else you have going on. People do find satisfaction in using the CBD for that. If that makes sense. It's not my best pitch on a CBD because, cramps, but
Are you okay though? Seriously.
I'm okay.
I mean, we could revisit this later when you're okay.
Nah,
All right.
I'm good with
you
my
got the
heating
key.
pad, but
You got it. I
figure with podcasts, with all interviews that I've done, it's like you go through and you edit the best parts. So we just spit in bars right now.
Yeah, actually, as long as you have the time, I'm a fan. Okay.
No, I'm not going to the gym today. So
yeah, because that was actually I was going to bring up to you. I was like, wow, and you're going to go to the gym feeling the way you do. For me, it would have been a wrap.
Nah, I'm not going today. Self-care is important, but yeah, the CBD infused products, you asked about massage oil specifically. The vasodilation is key. The anti-inflammatory properties are key. The way that it makes your body feel, like when you seriously slather it all over your body, use it as you would a lotion. That part is key because it gets your body to release. And all of that supports, full cycle intimacy, if you will, body and mind. We've been telling people in our latest marketing materials, we want for people to subscribe to feeling happy, calm, and gratified. All of those things CBD supports. But this is why we do the comprehensive product training.
No, absolutely. I mean, because I'm sitting here because I want to be able to, sorry about the dogs.
No, it's okay.
I want to be able to give this information to our customers.
Absolutely.
Because we have the most contact. And of course, with our business right now, we're still growing. We're still trying to establish our base. And, but it's during our Pride season that we can really talk to people. And, these are the things that we need to know,
absolutely.
Because this is what I want to push for. And, and the same part is that we only carry products that either we only use ourselves, and B, we're not penis owners, but we do have people that are, and these are the products that they swear by, and C, I'm not going to sell you anything that's shit for your body. That's
absolutely.
Just it. People fall into this line of work, and especially with drop shipping, and they're like, oh, you could do it and it's auto and everything. No, it's not. It's a grind. This is one of the most grueling industries I've ever been a part of. And the thing is that at some point you do have to give a shit. You do have to give a shit about your customer, what they're going to put in your body, or else you're not going to last.
Absolutely. And especially with the way things are going now. That's why I sent you the article that I did.
Yeah.
There are going to, there are going to be stores out there that wither on the vine, unfortunately. And so one of the things we've run into as a company, when stores have taken on our CBD products, just assuming this is going to be easy. How hard can it be? No, you need to be educated. So for the LGBTQ community, and it's you don't even have to be a part of the LGBT community to enjoy anal stimulation, but CBD is really good for that. CBD is really good for helping to relax those muscles back there to make anal stimulation, anal penetration, even more pleasurable, easier. It'll be because, the anus does not create its own lubrication. So, it's nice and slick back there. You've got vasodilation coming on. You've got plenty of sensation. And at the same time, you're relaxing that space. So, I mean, it's pick any erogenous area, pick any muscle, you've got blood flow, blood flow to the area, increased sensation, increased sensitivity, relaxation, any combination of those is often going to yield good things in your backside, in the vagina, on the clitoris. If you're using it for BDSM aftercare, you're going to have it's very soothing. Very soothing. I mean, again,
I didn't even think about it as aftercare.
Yeah, absolutely. Use it.
That didn't even occur. Oh my God.
Yeah, the salve stick for those welts, if you're flogging heavy, I mean, get that extra strength salve stick and rub it into get it on for those welts. And, you got that, got that blood flow coming to the area, because, blood rushes to the
Yeah.
area, when your body's healing as well. You've got that soothing anti-inflammatory property of the CBD. So, you're inflamed after you have you get some heavy punishment. Yeah, you're going to have some inflammation. So
I
that,
yeah, like, see, this is why at the new year, when we're all coming back after the holidays, definitely we gotta set that appointment up
absolutely,
for product
absolutely we will.
education, because
But
there's still so much.
absolutely. I mean, but back to what you were saying about, at some point, like, you're going to have to give a shit. I completely
Yeah.
agree. I mean, it's absolutely true. At some point, you're going to have to, store owners are going to have to give a shit if they don't. And the reason why is because consumers are waking up to the fact that they have to give a shit. I don't know if you knew this, but EngErotics products have started popping up on the Yuka app. And Yuka
Good.
helps consumers find clean, body safe products. You scan the barcode
Oh,
and it immediately pops up a list of ingredients along with the risk, low risk, high risk. And there's a score 0 to 100. So 100 is perfect, 0 is shit. So the closer you are to 100, the better you score. Our Soothing South Sticks score a 100 out of 100 on Yuka.
nice.
Our body polish, which is the sugar scrub, that's not an internal item, but we can talk about that. That's a 93 out of 100. So Yuka, like, the fact that that app is growing so rapidly in North America, it tells me that people, they're paying for this app, for all the bells and whistles of the app. Like, there are people who genuinely care about the quality of the ingredients that go into their products. So yes, I hope I answered your question on the CBD. We've been jumping all around. I hope
No, I
hope.
That's why we have editing, and that's why I enjoy the conversation. No, we are good. No, absolutely. So I gotta bring this.
I know, yeah.
I
There's always
brought it
something to
up.
bring up.
I brought it up with my last guest. Our first episode was with the CEO of Black Alchemy.
Yes.
Corolla Roberson. So we actually had a good time talking about this. So, some of us in this industry, the elections.
Yeah.
Right? So there are rumors about restricting even more freedom of speech. In our case, sexual speech and freedom of expression. So where does EngErotics fit in the upcoming landscape? Where do you hope to go from here?
Oh gosh, we're just gonna continue to be unapologetic as fuck. I mean, like,
Damn right.
we've never been shy about where we stand on social issues and social justice. We're very, I guess people would call it woke, but whatever. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, it's hard not to be vocal about these issues. I'm a Black woman leading this company. I actually, I did a whole, years ago, I think it was in 2020. It was not long after George Floyd was murdered. I was on another podcast, and the whole focus of the podcast was, should company owners speak up about social issues? And there are a great many business owners, company owners that are like, oh, well, let me back up. I'm gonna drop the T. I severed a very close friendship some time ago over this very topic. And it was essentially this person was also a business owner. And it was essentially, we appreciate that bigger companies are doing this, and it would be good for the bigger companies to speak up on social issues and let them take the hit, because us as a small business owner, as a small business, we can't afford to do that because we might lose business. But if you speak up in the name of what is right and you lose business, who the fuck are you marketing to? Exactly. Who are you pandering to? My position still remains the same. The results of the election only makes me want to be more verbose about what we're already talking about. It is even more important now, more than ever, maybe, to really step into what is important, what is right. I EngErotics is a proud supporter of cobalt advocacy. And they're here in Denver. They're local. If you holler at them, they're a fabulous organization. They're very political, and they stand very firmly on protecting reproductive rights. And making sure that abortion and reproductive health care is accessible to people with uteruses and vaginas.
Sure.
It's very important.
Absolutely.
The results of the election are, challenging. And they're going to be challenging for so many communities, for businesses like mine, for other businesses. But I'm not scared,
Right.
I don't have any time to be scared about that. Like, we really need to lean into the suck as a company. And this is something that we've talked about internally. Where are we going to go from here, and how are we going to represent ourselves? Like, now, in my opinion, in my not so humble opinion, now is not the time to shy away from these issues. We really have to fight for what's right. We really have to fight the good fight, in my opinion. So, and this matters deeply for me, because I'm not a checkbox on a ballot. Okay. Like, this is, it really hurts my heart to hear, people who have been in my life that, have a business, like, hear them put profit over people. Because listen, homie, my existence, my humanity, you can't boil that down to a checkbox on a ballot.
Right.
Like, I am a human being. And if you don't got the balls to say, hey, this shit ain't cool, like, how am I going to feel safe with you? How am I going to feel safe in your establishment? And listen, like, we have people from all walks of life, all across the political spectrum, that shop with us. It's not because they don't know who we are. It's not because they don't know who we are. We're very, very clear about who we are and where we stand. That doesn't stop people from all over the political spectrum bringing their money to EngErotics. That doesn't stop them. But I think a big part of that is because I really, really do believe that kindness and respect is so, so helpful in the work that we do. We all have these sexual needs. We all have these needs. They're very, very fundamental, basic needs. Like, there's nothing complicated about it. No matter who you are, where you sit on the political spectrum, everybody has these needs, and everybody needs that education. And so, although we're very, very vocal about what we stand for, I'm not going to tell you no. I'm not going to tell you to put this in your butt when it's not safe. Like, I'm not going to be a shit person. Right. Now, people out there, you might, go out of your way to, like, but that's not what we do here. I do believe that bridging the gap between, not bridging the gap. What am I trying to say? Shrinking the stigma, getting rid of the stigma and the embarrassment behind sexual education. It just opens up a whole new realm for a lot of people. Like, after you get to the point where you're like, okay, there's nothing shameful in this at all, it's not a far leap to things like, the conversations surrounding pronouns and, the gender identity spectrum, and intersectionality. Like, that's not hard. I mean, there's so many men who, it's a man's man, very burly, manly men, manly men. And they would never, ever, ever, ever tell you that they enjoy a butt plug because, oh my God, I ain't gay. Well, listen, that didn't have diddly shit to do doesn't have anything to do with who you're sexually attracted to. It's how you're formed. There's nerve endings back there. It happens to feel good. So what?
Right. No, exactly.
So what? Do it safely. Enjoy that shit. Like, I'm not here to judge, like, that's not, like, I'm here to educate you on how to do it safely. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, it doesn't make me gay. So what does it mean to be gay? Like, and then you have, like, people go on a finding mission. So to bring it back to the election, it's a difficult position for many people to be in. But I do believe it's going to be all right. This is not the time to sit down and be silent. So what are we going to do? We're going to continue to do what we've been doing. We have a whole redesign and relaunch of our website coming up. And that's not
okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I guess I didn't mention that. Yes. Yes, that's coming next year. And that's not to be, to shrink ourselves. It's to step even further into who we are now as a company. I haven't seen the mock-ups yet, so don't ask me what it looks like. Don't know. I'm just the CEO. Like no clue.
That must be great.
It is great. It is great. Like, I don't know. Like, how much does it cost? Does it feel good? Like, cool, So I don't know what the mock-ups look like, but we had a long conversation about the team and I about how people are really going to be looking for safety, for solidarity. Right. A lot. And listen, people who are conservative, they have sex too. Like there are companies and businesses that are at risk as a result of the election. And it's going to affect everybody, whether they like it or not, including the people that voted in favor of he who shall not be named. So
no, I kind of give him the Voldemort treatment too. I don't mention his name unless I absolutely have to. But yeah, no, agreed. This is something that's going to impact everybody, and we're in our own lane, in our own little pocket on West Colfax. We're thinking about that too. We're thinking about that prices are going to go up. This is a fact of life. We know that's going to happen. We know people are hopefully, knock on wood, we've been doing pretty good on where we're at, but we hope people don't feel emboldened that just because he won the election, that doesn't give you the right to act like an asshole. So do not come for our business or try to do anything. We've been fortunate. Nothing has really happened. Good. You know what I mean? I had a uncomfortable experience last year at the end of Denver Pride where some little shithead from libs of TikTok decided to snap my picture. It was shared over 3,000 times, but it was because we sold like the penis plushies. Yeah. And there's my picture 3,000 times. And our friend's like, where's Cindy? And they were genuinely concerned. And I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, and this was before we had the physical location. And if these people are emboldened, you're going to start taking pictures of random people, whether you agree with me or not. You don't have to. Okay. But let's give a little bit of kindness and grace to the parents that are at a Pride event. They actually do pretty amazing in like telling their kids, nope, you're not seeing that. Let's walk this way. Or we had this one great parent that was a little bit further down the way. And they're like, hey, we're just going to bring the kid over there. I want to look at your stuff. Yes. These parents know what they need to do. I'm not here peddling to a kid in a damn stroller. That's not how it is. But in any case, that is the one concern that we do have.
Yes, and understandably so. So. I think that there's going to be a lot of conversations that, honestly, I would encourage other founders, other company owners, to think about the support that they're going to give their stores outside of the products that they offer. Yep. What kind of support are they going to, and listen, there are a lot of stores of all kinds of different types. Like there are stores that, they're going to cater to your man's man, it's like, of course they're out there. Yeah. There are stores that cater, to women, trans and cis. There are stores, their specialty lies in the disabled community. And with the queer LGBTQ community. I think that it's really, really important for company owners to think about like, okay, great. Like, we know how CBD works, but what else do y'all need? Like, what else do you guys need? How can we support you? And I think that's going to be really, really important. I mean, I tell people all the time, like, it's like, I can't hide who I am. Like, I was born Black, I am going to be Black until I lay down, close my eyes, and leave this earth. I don't have a white lady suit in my closet I can put on when things get rough and uncomfortable. It's like this is it. There's nothing hidden, and so it's like I may as well just be who I am. And so as we approach the end of the year, it's like, well, there are a lot of things that as I said at the very beginning of our time together, that I have my prepared, sanitized versions of stuff. Like I have a very abbreviated, like this is what we do. But it's like, like with your store in Disobedience Denver, that's the real. It's very authentic. It's very, this is who we are. And I'm like, well, shit, let me grab my coffee and my heating pad and I'm going to sit down. And I hope that they have a good, like, they get what they need out of me, because this is like, I didn't prepare anything, I didn't prepare anything. I'm just like, we're just going to sit down and, freestyle and talk,
exactly.
And they'll edit what they need. We will give you comprehensive education on the CBD and, materials and stuff, and you'll be ready to go. So, hopefully people aren't like taking all their education from, this experience. But I mean, I think that, coming to this podcast, it's an opportunity to share who I am. Not just within the business, but outside of it, who I am and what brought me to found the business. And, because it's like who I am bleeds into the business, like leadership trickles from the top down. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's been a rough week for me on a personal level. And, my COO and formulation specialist, Heather, who you will meet and talk to, she's forbidden me from being on Slack today. She's like, okay, I know you got to do your interview thing after you're done. I don't want to see you on Slack. We're going to cancel the meeting tomorrow. Like, don't worry about it. People like that.
Does she rein you in? Is she the one that kind of pulls you back?
Yes. Yeah. As I'm like floating off into the stratosphere, she's like grabbing me by my ankles and pulling me back. But it's important to surround yourself with the people who, like, we don't always agree. Like, the team and I don't always agree. That's a good thing. Like, surround yourself with people that tell you what you need to hear, not simply what you want to hear. So, but, when it comes to, the outcome of the election and who we are as a company, I mean, we're leaning into our authenticity heavy, and it's very clear from, what we put on, social media, what we speak about, who we support, just the fact that we have Cobalt's badge on our website. Are there people that, may choose not to shop with us? Sure. And that's their decision. Yeah. But there are going to be a lot of people out there that are very discerning and may become even more discerning. Like, well, who can I shop with that I feel like, this is a good company to support. And of course, with the, Eat the Rich and, CEOs, like, big companies have taken the headshots of their leadership down. Okay. Like,
oh yeah.
All right, you don't do that if you're not doing, listen, like, you don't got nothing to worry about if you're being ethical. You ain't got nothing to worry about if you're, doing the right thing. But, there are other companies like, oh, okay, well, we better take our leadership down too, so they can be safe, and that's simply by, the executive status that they have. Like, that's it. Right. It's like, we don't even know, like, what they may or may not have done yet. So, I feel like now more than ever for us and everybody else, like, just really leaning heavy into doing the right thing and, being who you are. Like, I'm gonna be Black and a woman, no matter what. I mean, so I may as well just say what I'm gonna say. I mean, why the hell not?
Exactly.
I mean, it doesn't serve me to hide. It doesn't serve me to do otherwise. And what am I teaching my kids if I, shrink away? Like, no, I want my kids to be even bigger, brighter, and bolder than I could ever hope to be in my lifetime. What am I teaching them by, like, oh my gosh, I better not. We got to shut this down. No, we've got work to do. We've got work to do because we've got to get through. We got to get through, and sometimes the only way out is through. So, grab your machete and step into that jungle and get to hacking. Okay.
I love that. Nope. You are absolutely right. All right, Raven. Oh my God. I love this. Oh, this is so much fun. We definitely got to do this again because it's just us sitting here and just having a great time and good conversations.
This is a vibe. This is a whole vibe. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, Raven. And yes, we will be doing this again.
Absolutely. We'll debrief after we, don't cut me off.
Absolutely. No, I'm not. I'm not going to cut you off.
Some people do that. One time I did a podcast and everybody just logged off. I was like, oh, okay. No virtual handshake. Nice to, like, no, everybody just.
No, thanks for everything.
It was the outro music and everybody was just gone. And I was like sitting there like, okay. Hey,
Yeah,
right? So
there's a lot of editing. It's just like a solo labor of love, so it's gonna be a while. But don't worry, we'll debrief after this.
absolutely.
All right, everyone, make sure you check out the products. Raven's products over at EngErotics.com, or stop by our store where we carry the CBD oils and the shrooms. Again, the address is 3605 West Colfax here in Denver. Please like and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast fix. Check out our latest episodes on our website, disobediencedenver.com. Again, my name is Sin. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, stay disobedient.